Hello students, I welcome you all on our e-learning platform of GS College of Commerce, Wardha, and I am your faculty for the subject CLSP, Company Law and Secretarial Practice for BCCA 6A. In previous lectures, we have gone through with the different characteristics and features of company. At the same time, we have seen in detail the definition and meaning of company. Okay, how the word company has been derived, what is the importance of company, and in that why there is a need of law considering the volume and the depth of the business. The implementation of law, it is required, because if the businessmen who are not following the norms, terms and conditions which are mentioned in Companies Act, then that business is treated as illegal and invalid. So every law gives a support to the businessman to carry on their business activities legally. They have to follow certain norms, certain rules and regulations which are in the prevailing Companies Act. Okay. Today we will see the historical background of company law. In India, what is the background, or it is also known as a historical background for company law. Till 1850, our existing Company Act is Company Act 2013. It means you can just observe that after 1850, how many amendments or how many replacements have been done for the Companies Act. So, starting with the first one, we have to see our Indian Companies Act. First Indian Companies Act was passed in the year 1850, but it has the base of English Company Act 1844. Even our Indian Constitution has a base of all these English Companies Act or English rules and norms. So, continuing with the first Indian Company Act, it has a base of English Companies Act 1844. Now, in our first Indian Companies Act, what were the features or what were the focus point? Separate legal entity. Other than the different characteristics, this factor was the main feature, that is separate legal entity. Means every business has a separate legal entity rather or along with their members. Members are separate and that institution, that company is separate. But what were the lacunas in that particular Company Act? There was an absence of limited liability concept. Now what is liability and what is limited liability? Everything we have seen in detail with the characteristics and features. Still, we have made this type of table to understand and to make the things clear for the historical background, as it has a base of English Companies Act. And what are the features? Along with the other features, what was not in the earlier act, which is mentioned separate legal entity, but still there were some lacunas in the act, that was absence of limited liability. Now in every act there are certain recommendations, certain amendments which are made for the businessman point of view or from the business point of view to make the business more easy and in a more formal manner. So again, the 1850 Act, the first Indian Companies Act which was passed in the year 1850, was replaced with the Joint Stock Company Act 1857 or Indian Companies Act 1857. Now, which were the lacuna in the earlier Company Act that was passed, means that particular concept was added and that became the feature of the Company Act 1857, and it was limited liability concept was added. The thing which was missing in the earlier act was added in the existing prevailing act. But still, what was the lacuna? Means what were the difficulties the businessman used to face in that particular act? Limited liability privilege or the advantage of limited liability was given to the companies as the business was growing. Other than sole tradership and business partnership business, the business was growing. But the limited liability privilege was not authorized to the banking companies, and after some amendments, that advantage, that privilege was given to the Banking Companies Act, but with certain limitations. We just have to see what are the points considered. We do not need to go in detail with the points. So, which was missing in the earlier act was added or recommended in the next act. Likewise, here the limited liability privilege was not authorized to the banking companies, but when it authorized, when that privilege was given to the Banking Companies Act, still there were some limitations and certain conditions for the banking companies was given. After that, again in the year Companies Act 1866 passed, and again that Companies Act 1866 has a base act which is known as English Companies Act 1862. Okay, with considering the base for the new act which was passed in the year 1866 has a base act of English Companies Act 1862, and in that what were the features, what were the points which were focused in the Companies Act 1866. What was those? Incorporated association. This is the main feature even in our present act. Incorporation. Okay, certificate of incorporation is given to the new businessman. So since incorporation up to the dissolution, everything is mentioned in the existing Companies Act. But in the year means when the act was passed in 1866, that were the main features like incorporation, winding up, that is dissolution. Then the act lasts long till 1913, almost for the 50 years. Okay, when the Companies Act 1866 was passed, it worked almost for the 50 years. Means the act was bit good. Okay, the businessmen were not facing any problems, any legal formalities, and that is why that particular act lasts long, almost for since 50 years. Then again the new Company Act which was incorporated or which was passed in the year Indian Companies Act 1913. So in the year 1913 again new Company Act has been came into existence, and that also having a base of English Companies Act 1908. Now during this Indian Companies Act 1930, this act was passed and came into existence, and it was applicable to the every businessman who were incorporated themselves in the business activities. But this was the era of a Second World War. What was that? It was a time of a Second World War, and due to that means everything was a mess and it was not possible to handle all the activities related to business in the Companies Act 1913. So again the people or the government thought to make certain changes in the existing Companies Act 1930. So this was the period of Second World War, and so the act which was in existence, it thought that that act is not sufficient to fulfill all the requirements of the businessman. So some of the amendments were made in the Companies Act 1913, and those amendments were made in the year 1914, 1916, okay, 1920, 26, 1930 or till 1936. Means every time the act was not changing, some of the rectifications or some of the recommendations and amendments used to make in that Companies Act 1913. So all these type of amendments used to take place in the Companies Act since 1930 to 1936. So in these 13 years, the government thought, or it was the demand of the businessman, to make a new Company Act, because this act was not sufficient to carry on the business activities. So now again this act was replaced by another Companies Act, and that Companies Act is now known as a New Company Act or Indian Company Act 1956. And again this Company Act 1956 has a base of English Companies Act 1948. Every time the government has followed the rules, regulation, norms which were mentioned in the English Company Act, and accordingly they have made some amendments, recommendation in their own Indian Companies Act. So while considering the Companies Act 1930, it was a deficient from some angle, and some amendments, some recommendations which were made by the government, by the businessman or by the common people who wants to enter into the business activities, they thought that some changes to be needed in this Companies Act 1930. So new Company Act came into existence in 1956, and for the reason of introducing any Company Act by the government, it is a rule that the bill of this particular act, before knowing that particular thing, that is Company Act 1956, bill has been prepared by the government. Okay, so in the year 1950, what happened? Our government has appointed a 12 members committee under the chairmanship of H.C. Bhabha. What our Indian institutions or the Indian ministers, what they did, they have appointed a 12-member committee under the chairmanship of H.C. Bhabha. Okay, and that committee have made n number of amendments and recommendations so that the new Company Act 1956 came into existence. One bill, the Bhabha committee has put a light on a Companies Act, and the new bill was drafted, and that bill was passed from both of the parliament houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Once that bill has been passed from these parliament houses, the new Company Act came into existence, and that act is known as Companies Act 1956. Again, the existing act, which was Companies Act 1956, found some lacunas. There were certain deficiencies in that particular act, but still, again, some of the amendments and recommendations done by the stakeholders or by the different business owners, and from that angle, okay, to satisfy their needs, certain amendments made again in the year 1980, 1960, 1963, then 1988 till 2006. Okay, the further recommendations with the suggestions from the stakeholders, with the suggestions from the different businessmen, that particular bill again have some problems, again have some deficiencies, until the year 2002 the new bill used to draft. But as I have told you that it is a rule that particular bill has to be passed from both the houses, unless that company bill is not be treated as a Companies Act. Again, with further recommendations and amendments, the new Company Act, which is known as the existing or the prevailing Company Act 2013. Now we are working on Companies Act 2013. Now every time you will find that this act was replaced with certain recommendations, certain changes and amendments, and a new act was passed, which is known as Joint Stock Companies Act 1857. Again, some of the lacunas, some of the problems, some of the deficiencies were there in that act. So again, new Companies Bill or new Company Act was passed in the year 1866. After 1866, there was Indian Companies Act 1930. Again, some recommendations, some amendments made after every 2 or 3 years. And so, in the year 1956, the new Company Act came into existence, which is known as Companies Act 1956. Again, there were some problems, some lacunas in the existing Companies Act 1956, and now if the person like you and me want to open a new business, then they have to follow the Companies Act 2013, which is a prevailing or existing Companies Act. So this is how is complete the historical background. Why historical background? Earlier there was in 1850, then in 1857, then 1866, again 1913, then 1956, and finally we are working on Companies Act 2013. So this is all about the Company Act, how with certain recommendations and amendments, after regular intervals, the new act was replaced, new act was passed, and accordingly now we are in the year 2021, but still we have to follow the Companies Act 2013. And again, if there are some problems which are not fulfilled by the businessman, again this Company Act 2013 will change, and maybe in the year 2030 or somewhere the new Company Act will be passed. But before that, at present there is a Companies Act 2013, and every businessman who wants to involve themselves in new startup, in new business activity, then they have to follow which act? Companies Act 2013. So this is enough for today, and in the next lecture we will see what is Companies Act 2013. Thank you.